All right, welcome on back to Lowell, everyone. This is Dan Rea broadcasting outside of the ballpark that is the home of the Lowell Spinners. And that is a minor league affiliate of the Boston Red Sox, a Class A minor league team. We have done this show. This is our third show. We did one in 2008. We did one last year in 2010. And, of course, tonight. And, by the way, when we were here in 2008, Marty Meehan is with me, the Chancellor of the University of Lowell, and they have a very close relationship with the Lowell Spinners. It's funny, Marty, when we were here in 2008, Kyle Weiland came into the studio at the end of the show. He had just graduated from Notre Dame, was a player here. Yep. His mom and dad were with him. He's a young man from New Mexico. I think he's from Albuquerque. Very well spoken. We had a lovely interview with him, and of course he pitched his second game for the Red Sox last night in Baltimore. And I told him at the time, I said, well, you know, when you make it to the Red Sox, you better come back into the studio. So we'll have to.
Did
get
he
him
say
back.
Yes?
He did say yes.
We're gonna have to follow up.
I know, but you know, Marty, they say yes sometimes, and then it's a little difficult to jog their memory. We invite you to join us as well. We're talking minor league baseball. We're also talking about the city of Lowell and the economics of all of this. And the number, of course, 617-254-1030 as always, or 888-WBZ 1030. I believe that Rob Brooks tells us we have Richard from Charlestown on the line. Hey, Richard, how are you tonight?
I'm good tonight. How are you, Dan?
I'm doing great.
Marty, how are you?
Good, Richard. How are you doing?
I do know Marty from my days. I retired about 4 years ago, but I get excited when I hear about the Lowell Spinners because I was an original investor in the Elmira Pioneers back in the 80s.
Yeah.
And that was the origination of the Lowell Spinners. And
sure was.
There was an attorney in Boston who was a baseball nut, and he said, let's buy a team. So somewhere in the 85, 86, 87, I can't remember quite clearly, but we put a little pool together, and we ended up buying the Elmira Pioneers. And what a great experience.
I got to ask you, Richard, this is Dan, because I've always thought, wouldn't it be so great to own a minor league hockey team or minor league baseball team? Back in those days, give us a general estimate. What did the Elmira Pioneers cost for you folks?
We bought it for I think somewhere around $300,000.
Oh my word, $300,000.
Yeah, there were like 10 guys that put in $30,000 a piece or something like that.
And how long did you maintain an interest in it, Richard?
We owned it until let's see, it's been in Lowell. When did they become the Lowell Spinners?
Got to Lowell, as I understand it, in 1996, and I believe
think we owned
Drew
it
Weber.
For 10 years, and I think Clyde Small, who was the GM and the lead guy, I think he's still there. I'm not quite sure.
Right, yeah. Drew Weber is the owner of this organization.
It was Clyde Small. Small, I think was his name. I can't quite remember his name. But I think we sold it for something like $3 million.
And you sold it to Clyde, right, Richard?
That's correct.
Yep. And Clyde had it for a few years, and then Drew came in after that.
Right.
I wonder, and no one will know this answer to us right now, but I'd love to know what this franchise is worth today. During the period of time, Bob, when you owned, or Richard, when you had the team, were you at least breaking even?
Oh yeah, we were breaking even, but I'll tell you, it was a mom and pop operation.
But you had a nice capital gain at the end. In other words, obviously,
we had a great capital gain. But you know what? It wasn't about making money; it was about the experience.
Yeah.
And the Red Sox would give us the uniforms. Clyde would be doing the wash with a couple of interns, washing the uniforms. You only had one or two sets of uniforms. But I got to tell you a quick story. I brought my son up. He was probably 10 or 12 years, and we had an investors / board meeting a couple times a year. But I brought him up once, and at the meeting we were talking about operations, and one of the things they were talking about was the cost of baseballs. And so they hired a bunch of kids to be in the outfield over the fence during batting practice, so they could retrieve the balls because there was only so much money to go around. And it was, I don't know what it was, $2 or $2.50 or $3 a ball or whatever it was. And during the game, the foul balls, of course, you can't get those back. And every time there was a foul ball, my son would say, "Dad, we're losing money. Dad, we're losing money." So I think that was one of his first economic lessons about being a business person.
And now he's a hedge fund manager on Wall Street, right?
Well, actually, he's a very successful lawyer, and I knew he was going to be a lawyer anyway when he was young, because I could never win an argument with him. But Clyde would be down in the field, raking the infield and the dirt around home plate and so on. I mean, it was quite as I said, a mom and pop operation, but it is Americana at its best.
It sure is.
Richard,
thank you for your investment and your investors, because, as you know, what we have now in this city is just incredible. Every game sold out, beautiful baseball park, and it just, the kids that get in here to see, professional baseball, it's just a great experience. So you guys that made that investment, you deserve to make a great return, and thank you for doing that.
Well, Richard, I don't know if we really wanted to sell them. I'll tell you one thing. I had my two daughters and their families in town on the 4th of July and took them to the Red Sox game. 9 tickets. I bought them at $52 a piece, so that wasn't bad. But how many hot dogs do you want? You want 9 hot dogs? Oh, $45. You got to have a drink with that. Oh, 9 lemonades. Oh, that's $45. Well, you want T-shirts? Oh, you want hats? Oh, okay. Well, with the tickets and everything, it was $928 for the night.
Wow.
But who was counting, right?
How much was parking? How much was parking? UMass Lowell only charges $5 for parking.
It was $30 for park.
Yeah.
Hey, Richard, perfect call to start us off tonight. I really mean that. Congratulations on your, we're just looking at it. You're just giving back a little bit of that capital gain. That's all you're doing when you think about it. What goes around comes around.
Well, between Uncle Sam and the governor at that time, I don't know who it was, Weld or whatever,
It was Dukakis, when you sold it was Weld or Salucci.
It was a wonderful experience, and I'll always treasure it.
Richard, thanks very much for the call.
Take care,
okay?
Richard.
Have a good night.
Thanks. That's a great call. That's exactly the calls type we're looking for tonight. People who have had experience, not necessarily that you're the owner of a minor league baseball team, no doubt about that. But if you had a minor league baseball story to share with us, maybe the first minor league baseball game you went to, or who knows, maybe you grew up in the middle of who knows where, and there was a minor league park right up the street from where you lived. Give us a call, 617-254-1030. I want to wrap up with Marty Meehan, who has been a friend for many, many years. I got to ask you, just taking you back to the congressional situation, how do you think this gets played out, the debt crisis? What do you think?
Well, one of the toughest things about being in Washington was how partisan it was. And I have to say, in the 14 years I was there, it just got more and more partisan. It's a shame that Republicans and Democrats can't roll up their sleeves and just say, let's get this done. Let's forget our party affiliation and forget about the next election. Let's do what's in the best interest of the country. And that's what they need to do. I thought there was a reasonable proposal by Republicans and Democrats in the Senate. Hopefully they can get the House Republicans and House Democrats to think in terms of bipartisanship. But I can tell you, much prefer to be here on the campus of UMass Lowell, building 3 new buildings, not being in Washington, hassling over. The fact is they have to reach an agreement.
What was the debt ceiling when you went to Congress in 92?
Well, the annual debt was $300 billion, and the debt ceiling at that time was about $4.3 trillion. It's amazing what's happened. We actually had a balanced budget for a few years while I was there, and in fact, the 2000 debate, in the presidential debate between Gore and Bush, was about how to spend this unprecedented surplus that we were going to have. Yeah. And here we are with more debt than we're probably ever going to get out of if we don't make tough decisions.
Sure.
So,
and of course, without being partisan, then that little thing called September 11th came along,
and
that's
certainly
right. The sort of things you can never anticipate. Marty Meehan, you're a great friend. Thanks very much
Dan.
for coming by, and congratulations to all the great work you guys are doing up
Thanks
here
very much.
at the University of Lowell. And our friend Keith Motley, I'm sure, is listening somewhere tonight.
There's no way Keith can call in tonight. What's he going to talk about, the Spinners or the ballpark? There's no way he can call. But you know what? Keith is a great guy.
He's the
great colleague. Great colleague.
He's my chancellor.
Yeah,
you know that,
great.
okay? You're my
He's fabulous.
You're my second draft choice.
Being second to Keith is not a problem with me.
Marty, thanks very much.